Welcome everybody to another horror movie news. Today we are discussing The Quiet Place is being dropped this weekend in theaters. Check your local listing if you are lucky enough to find a theater near you where you can find that. As well as James Gunn is producing a new horror film and it's written by his brothers. And also we have a neat little trailer for a film called Vampire Clay. It's Japanese and it looks wild. Can't wait to share that with you. And last but not least, our two commentators of last week and also the week before that. One of them will take home the poster for House of Demons. So stay tuned for all that. This is Horror Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Don't you blame the movies?
It's like a horror movie. You gotta be on your feet. You
Yeah.
gotta be ready.
Psychos.
Make split decisions.
That sounds like a
From
cat.
watching that movie, though, gotta get all your screaming out.
Oh my god, that movie. Can't wait to talk about it. Hello everybody,
We'll talk
welcome
about
to
it.
Horror Movie News. I am your host, Anthony Becerra. And with me as always I have Carrie Lane
Hey there.
and Oliver Drennan.
Hey guys.
Right on. So, we're gonna just jump right into it. We're gonna do some quick crypt keeping. I wish I didn't butcher that. That's okay. Where to follow us? So pretty much you can follow us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network at our YouTube channel where we update it every day. We have a new video as well as Horror News PTN on Twitter. My bad. On Twitter at Horror News PTN. And you can also find us on the popcorntalknetwork.com website that just got a new facelift. Go check it out. It looks beautiful. I personally love it. And it links straight to YouTube, which is awesome. And last but not least, Apple Podcasts. Go ahead and look up iTunes or wherever you find a podcast. Just go and rate it. Subscribe to our podcast so you get updated every weekly when our new show drops and everything. And also, please give us a 5-star rating. And
Well, you gotta do
feedback.
5 because 1 through 4 don't work.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrific, but only 5 works.
Yeah.
So just press the
click
5.
it.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. The Abyss. What films have we been watching this week?
I've had a pretty dry week. I feel it's kind of bad. I'm like, man, what did I watch? Because I felt like I already talked about it last week of Ready Player One.
Yeah, and I saw that as well. Yeah.
Which for people who didn't see our thing real briefly, it's really good. If you've read the book, it's completely different. And I know people are like, oh, adaptations are different. I'm like, oh, no, this one's very, very different. But it's okay. It's one of those like, as someone who loves the book, I was like, but I still
agree.
enjoyed the movie. I'm like,
It's okay.
and then I feel like I didn't really get to the theater or because I had already seen stuff and most of the new stuff
Yeah.
out. Was like, eh.
You saw a lot of good stuff. You saw Tomb Raider, which I still haven't seen.
Gotta get on it.
I'm the one who needs to go to the theater. But have you guys seen Strangers yet? Prayer at Night.
Then you straight. No.
I finally saw it.
And
I liked it.
Okay,
I don't think it was as good as the first one, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
spoil anything. I liked Christina Hendricks. She was a really
Yeah.
standout in that film. I think it was a little bit more. They tried to be more humorous in this iteration. This sequel was it considered a sequel?
Yeah.
next in the
I
franchise.
think so. Yeah.
Lots of 80s music, and a lot of it went into some of the scenes, some of like the stalking scenes, and I felt like it was a little overplayed when they did that.
Did they play that one song? Every move you make.
I forget.
I'll be watching you.
They did that for
That
Blair
would've been
Witch,
so
the Blair
funny.
Witch trailer.
Which, I mean, I guess.
But yeah, I enjoyed it though. It
Missed
was a lot of fun. It was,
opportunity. Okay,
well,
it was
it's
a
one of
lot
those-
different than the first one. And
Okay.
Lucretia saw it a while ago, and I remember she
Yeah.
said it was there really isn't an origin to the Strangers, and that's very true. But what I will say about this the Strangers series is that I like that there's a mystery that you don't know why they're really killing people, and I think that's the scariest thing in horror films is just the mystery and not knowing why people are killing people.
Right.
It's funny. I'm the opposite. I need I
You
want a
need
little.
the
I
origin.
want more motivation. Even with like monsters and creatures and like ghosts, I'm like I need a little bit more. Because if it's just random, it's a little bit like I don't. It makes me care more when I know.
Isn't that
like,
where all like the classic slashers were, where they were just pointless kind of?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are fine, and then like wrong
Killing.
place, wrong time. But like maybe if you did something wrong, you're punished. Like that's something I love about the Tales from the Crypt show. Generally, every episode is like a morality tale because it's somebody who does something wrong, and then bad things happen.
In
Got
an
it.
ironic and painful way.
Hey.
Yes, they
Hey.
are so fun. I love that show. I'm trying to think of anything else. More on Jessica Jones. It's not really a horror, but
Eh.
man, the story. I'm not
You're
that
not
far
here
yet,
for
but the
it?
storyline with Trish is driving me nuts. Now.
Oh gosh,
It's so
it'll be
hard.
worth it though.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm like, it's.
But yeah,
really
you
hard.
just want to slap Patsy.
Yeah, you're like, stop, please. And then I felt like that was all I really watched.
Okay.
And
you
then I watched
should-
something else, which will be my review thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be my kind of
And I also
I'm double dipping. I
Last
guess.
night I started watching Santa Clarita
Santa
Clarita
Diet.
Diet.
I can't even Santa Clarita Diet season 2.
Okay, how's season
and
2
it's,
shaping
it's
up?
funny. I love Drew Barrymore in that role of just, and it's just like so matter of fact that like she's like a zombie.
Yeah.
But I haven't finished it, so I don't really know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna like it. As
I did enjoy the first season. I haven't jumped on the second season yet. I can't wait to see Timothy
Yeah.
Olyphant
So it is
again.
good. I don't know.
I
Something about
enjoyed it.
like-
I enjoyed it. It's like stupid funny stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
It's not a serious show. It's a 30-minute like
Yeah.
sitcom sort of, but like it's a one camera sitcom.
Yeah. Like it feels like it should be totally all up our alley and you guys' alley viewing.
It's
but
definitely horror
I'm like,
comedy for sure, or horror
Looks like it'd be
dramedy
hit or
in a
miss to me.
sense. It's like
Yeah.
a horror dramedy.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. If you, I love Timothy Olyphant in that show.
Yeah.
Like he makes it for me, so that's why like I'll keep watching.
he was a standout in the first season, but I just love Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it's also a funny take on like zombification and everything. Who knows if there's more of her? We'll see. All right, so I actually had quite a busy weekend with horror films. So I started off my viewing with Fallen from 1998, directed by Gregory Hoblitz. I rented it on Amazon. So he's also done Primal Fear in 96 and Frequency in 2000. Written by Nicholas Kazan. He wrote Bicentennial Man and also Enough with like Jennifer Lopez, I believe.
Oh.
It was like that
Oh,
one.
nice. Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Synopsis is a homicide detective, John Hobbs, who's played by Denzel Washington, witnesses the execution of a serial killer, Edgar Reese. Soon after the execution, the killings start again, and they are very similar to Reese's style. So, like, after they kill the same guy, there's another killer with the same MO happening. Reiterating, stars Denzel Washington, John Goodman, and Donald Sutherland. But also, it stars a brief scene in the beginning. Who's the killer? Reese, who plays Reese, is Elias Koteas. So his scene. There's a great scene in the beginning where Denzel goes and visits him in prison. And that was very creepy to me, that first opening scene of him going to prison, and it was very like very grimy and stuff. It's a little reminiscent of Seven though, the way like how it plays out, how like they go into like different murders and stuff. They're all like kind of the same style of murder, but it's just very like how it's approached is kind of very 7-y. 7-y.
Yeah,
if you
that's a
got
new
that.
word.
I know. I use a lot of
7-ish?
slang,
You could do
guys.
ish.
Not intelligent here.
No.
So yeah, so the prison scene was great. I loved he dances to like the electric chair or like that weird chair. So like it's Elias Cody is just dancing like his way. He's like yeah, and he's singing like time is on my side. Yeah, it's
boy.
really creepy. I loved it. They had a really cool like movement like camera effect with the demon. Like the demon would like come out of. There's a demon involved, guys.
I was gonna say, I'm like, so there's a demon.
By the way, there's a
Okay.
demon involved. That's why it's the same MO. It's the demon was in Reese, and then it goes out of Reese, and it moves into
I
people.
do like that it has supernatural.
Yeah, so like the way how
Yeah.
the demon works is that like once its host dies, it goes into another
body?
another body instantly like that, and it controls it like right away.
Does it choose it? I mean,
It can choose, yeah.
Okay.
It can choose. It can also like if I were to touch you and it was
Pop
in me,
over?
yeah, it would pop to
Oh,
you.
okay.
So there's a really cool scene of like some of the camera techniques of like when it comes out of someone, it does a different filter and stuff, and it's like a little bit like kind of like Evil Dead style, but not
Sure.
as fast. So I thought that effect was cool. I like the story too. How like it was pretty intricate, but it wasn't like too overly complicated, so it worked because it's like there's like a weird like undercover cop conspiracy within the cop force. At the same
Yeah.
time, there's a demon behind it, so you're just like what?
all hell broke loose.
It's pretty great. The ending didn't really do the ending didn't really do too much for me personally,
Okay.
but overall I thought it was a good movie. Next I saw Pyewacket. This is actually released recently. It was released in 2017, another Amazon rental. It was written and directed by Adam McDonald. His only other movie he's made was called Backcountry, which I believe is about like these three friends who get like lost in the wilderness, and there's like a killer bear after them. It's supposed to be really good.
Those bears, man.
Yeah. Overall, I got. Oh wait, so real quick, the synopsis is about this: a frustrated, angst-ridden teenage girl awakens something in the woods when she naively performs an occult ritual to evoke a witch to kill her mother.
Don't do those occult rituals, guys.
Yeah, I mean these angsty teens just never
Those
learn. That's why I stay away
Well,
from heavy metal.
I prefer that they do that. There are too much teens these days. They're
There
too
you
much
go,
on
thin
their,
out the
they're
herd.
On, they're on their phones.
Are you saying they need to
Yeah.
learn their lesson?
So we're overpopulated. You know, just
yeah.
you know. Come on, I support this.
So you're okay with some teenage demon slaying, Maria?
Absolutely.
Survival of the fittest. You know, if they're dumb enough to do it.
Oh, my panel. I love them. So it stars Nicole Munoz as Leah. She's like the main character. She has, amazingly, she's about a year younger than I am. She's 23. She has over 50 credits on IMDb with lots of TV movies and shows such as Christmas Princess is one of the movies, as well as a Sorority Murder, and also the TV show Defiance, which was on for a couple seasons.
Cool.
On the Sci-Fi, I believe, and it was it was interesting. Also stars Laurie Holden as her mother, Miss Reyes, from The Walking Dead, who played
Yes.
Andrea, as well as she's been on The Americans and The Shield. Just some quick overall thoughts. I felt like the movie was okay overall. It was getting like some rave reviews online, but I just wasn't really sure why. So I was just kind of like trying to mix that. Like, am I wrong? I mean, it honestly doesn't really matter. If it didn't work, if it didn't work for me, it didn't really work for me. But here's some thoughts I had. It's deeply rooted in the relationship between the angsty teenage daughter and her depressed / almost like she has like bipolar tendencies sometimes too, where she's grieving, but when she comes home, she's like, oh hey daughter, but at the same time she's like, I don't care, do what you want, I'm gonna get drunk and cry because of like the death of their father, pretty much the father figure in the family. It's a great and simple story that doesn't hinder. It doesn't hinder it at all being that simple. I thought it was really good. It doesn't overplay its hand. It doesn't shove anything down your throat. It doesn't like. It's a perfect balance of like it being a drama, sort of. Yeah, not really coming of age. It's more like a drama / horror film. Because there is that aspect of like the mother-daughter relationship and everything, but then also she gets angry and does this cult and like does bad juju towards her mom. It definitely builds up momentum of the film, leading up to like a great finale. I kind of saw it coming though, so it wasn't like it didn't. I guess that's probably why it didn't hit me as much at the end. But if you don't see that finale coming, then I am jealous of you because you're gonna be like, wow, like, you know, you're gonna be blown away. It's gonna be great. Definitely, it's a huge gut punch that ending. And it's like along the lines I compare it to Ben Wheatley's The Kill List. If you've seen that, at the end of that, and like how that was a gut punch, it's like around the same vein.
Okay.
And the film like the way it looks is super appealing. It's fantastically shot and really like crafted really well. I summed it up to, it's like watching a kettle slowly burn water until it reaches its maximum temperature. Then you hear that deafening like whistle.
Yeah.
So you're just like watching it like slowly just heat up until you're just like, oh, like, yeah. So it was overall, I think it was an okay film. Out of the 3 movies I saw, that was my second favorite. Fallen was my third favorite. But so now let's move into The Crypt, because this is a movie I really want to talk about. But first,
I'm like, we had the same one.
I feel like we're gonna talk about it the most. So I think we'll let Ollie go first if you have a
I
recommendation.
have a very special Crypt this week.
Ooh, let me get ready to write it
'cause
in.
real life can be really scary and
Oh, yeah.
it can feel like a horror movie.
Tell me
And
about it.
someone who suffers from social anxiety, depression. I mean, we all want to have fun. We want to learn. We want to grow in all areas of our life. And for those who do, I have a very special podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. It's hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes.
Hey-o.
Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. I need those relationship tips, let me tell you.
I need them finance tips, yo.
Yeah, me too.
I'm single, by the way. No, but Maria is
Samesies.
such a great woman to look up to. Let Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. It's for free. So easy to do. We all need that inspiration, like our weekly inspiration. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us who sent you there. The horror movie news.
Yes.
Let us, plug us. No.
Let her know.
Yes, Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out. It's,
Nice.
Thank you so much, Ollie. That was such a great segue. I had no idea where you're going. I was like, I've
was like,
never
oh,
heard of this movie,
okay.
but then I was like, oh wait.
It's not a scary podcast, but
Yeah.
it's a really good one when life does feel scary.
But the realizations that you might have while listening to
Yeah.
that podcast could be terrifying.
Ah.
So, all right. So, what's your recommendation for this week, Ollie? You got something?
Well, I guess it's not horror, but it kind of is DC, the animated Suicide Squad film. Have you ever watched
Oh,
it?
like
No.
Road to Hell or something? What is it?
No, it's that's the new one that's out,
Okay,
which I
that's
haven't
the one
gotten to
out.
watch, but I rewatched this one because of the new one that's come out. I don't know if it's an actual sequel to the first one.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. It's super gritty and dark, and I feel like DC's trying to go with the Marvel route in their live action films.
Right.
And it's like, no, DC does some really dark things.
They do dark well, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that's what they need. To
And
stick
especially
with.
in their animated films, like there's bloody, there's a little bit of gore, not too much, but it's a lot of fun. I think Tara Strong, who does Harley Quinn's voice, she's like such a great Harley Quinn actress. So I know it's not Margot Robbie, but I totally recommend it for people who want to see DC like do well, because
Yeah.
DC just gets like the hard end of the stick. So, and I just want DC, the live action films, to kind of be influenced by the DC animated films to, go that dark route as well.
I like their animated ones because exactly. The darker fits better.
Mm-hmm.
Their vibe.
Especially for Suicide Squad. And I think what
Yeah.
saved Suicide Squad for me was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She definitely carried that movie. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I was just. Have you seen? It was just making me think of the trailer, Margot Robbie. There's a new trailer called
Oh,
Terminal.
yeah.
That's
what we watched.
That's the one
Did
we
we
were going
watch
to talk
it?
about last
I
week.
finally saw another trailer for it then,
Well,
so I got excited.
I actually didn't see the new
okay.
release trailer, like the full trailer. I saw a sneak
I saw
peek
the
and I was
long
like,
trailer.
I'm in.
And I was
No.
like, oh my gosh, her face.
It looks-
She has such a cool, like, creepy Cheshire
Oh
cat
yeah,
grin.
she looks terrifying.
And Simon Pegg looks so cool in it. I'm like, this looks interesting. So I saw the one.
Definitely go check out that trailer if you can, guys. The Terminal.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing those two
Coming out
interact.
this
And
year.
it looks so weird.
With Mike
that you're
Myers
like, What
too.
is this movie
Austin
about?
Powers is back.
But see, that's a good trailer where you're like, I have no idea what's going on. Perfect.
No,
Like,
but let's.
it's
yeah,
visually
yeah.
cool. I mean, there's a basic thing of like, okay, there's kind of like heist idea, help us do this thing, but it's not so much that I go, all right, well, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. It's like a teaser of the concept, which is that's how trailers should be.
Right.
Like, gets you interested.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
definitely interested. I'm all for it. I can't wait to see how it comes out. All right. So that was it. Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Is it on
check
a
out.
Some
particular
sort of
platform?
Suicide
or...
Squad.
Oh god, I forgot what I watched it on.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite part of
Just
the whole.
look it up. That's fine.
It's my favorite part of the whole movie. Some sort of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing ever, dude. I love it so. Suicide Squad. Johnny on DC
Oh,
Movie News always
God.
does that. I'm just like, yes. It's so funny.
But I'm interested in knowing what your guys' recommendations this
Well,
week, because
okay,
you guys
funny
were...
story with this. So I started watching a movie last night. I had to pause it because I couldn't finish it. I had to get up early, so I paused it. I could look on Twitter, and Tony's like, "I'm watching this movie," and I was like,
Which I rarely
I'm
do,
watching
yeah.
that movie too.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna
At
watch
the same
this.
moment, we picked the same movie, and totally unrelated, we're like, "I'm watching the same thing."
And I was
What
like,
movie is
awesome.
it?
It's
All right,
called,
everybody. Really? Yeah. Go ahead, okay.
All right,
Take
it's
it
called
away.
Mon Monsters. So
Mon,
it's
Mon,
three
Mon,
Mons
Monsters, yeah.
and then Monsters. It's a. But I was like, well, statistically, it makes sense in terms of it's the featured movie on Shudder right now. And so I was like, well, I had seen their email, and then it was like at the top, and I was like, sure. And I don't know what made you pick it. You said you had heard
Yeah,
about it.
I read about it on the I believe it was it Film School Rejects. They just did a little article. It's like, oh, 10 best movies of 2018, horror movies of 2018 so far. And that's where I saw like what is it, like the Ravenous. I saw there. I was like, seen it. I saw there's like a bunch of movies on there that I've already seen. Pyewack was on there. I was like, okay. And then I saw this one that interested me the most. It was number one. It was Mon Monsters. I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. Where can I
It's a
watch it?
Chinese film,
Yeah,
by
it's
the
like
way.
March 29th, released exclusively on Shudder. I was like, perfect. It's like tonight, it's going down. So I was looking forward to watching it. It's directed and written by Giddens Ko. He's done like directed 3 other films. The other 2 have been comedy romance movies.
Okay, that totally makes sense.
Right? Okay, so one of them is called You Are the Apple of My Eye, released in 2011. So it's his first time directing a horror film, and he's done only 2 romantic comedies. The synopsis, real quick, is about a group of teenagers capture a man-eating monster. Whew. So just quick
well,
thoughts.
let's clarify too. It's a bullying group of teenagers. Too.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it's a
big
bully.
part of
Yeah,
it.
So they're bullies.
they're bullies,
Yes.
but
Okay.
it's like the nerd. Well, the guy who's being bullied joins the bullies.
Yeah.
In
In
a
bullying?
sequence, yeah,
A little bit,
in
but
a
that's-
fantastic sequence that involves like old people at this old retirement
was so
home. I
good,
guess
yeah.
it was good, but also really
I would
cruel.
feel
It was
sad
funny
if I
but
lived
cruel,
there,
right?
yeah.
Like this is what I wanted to talk about. It's like it's a fantastic film. It's horror, comedy, drama.
Yes.
It deals with bullying. It deals with the morality of bullying. It deals with the morality in general being tested. I think for the kid and also
Yeah.
for the viewers because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether it was okay to laugh at these like teenage people like
They do
messing,
horrible things.
like terrible, like cruel things to old people. But it's so
And
it's
other
funny though.
students, too.
Like I was laughing my ass off
Yeah.
when like that whole like old man scene. I was just like, I can't believe this is funny, but this is also really really jacked
Yeah.
up. Like
Or even like later, there's something that happens to a teacher, and that too, you're
that
like,
too, yeah. And then everyone's just like phones, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom.
nobody
like,
cares.
oh,
Nobody's so
she's fu-
something bad happens to a teacher, and nobody's helping. And
Nobody
they're all
does
just like
anything.
photos,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
And
but then you almost are like, well, like that movie really toys with your emotions because at first you're like, no, this person's really good, and then something reveals more about their character, and then you're like, okay, wait, maybe they're bad.
yeah,
then
everyone's
maybe they're good.
morality is just like muddled. Like your own morality is muddled. It's like it's also got like a really cool dynamic between the bullies and the monster that possesses. That really makes like the viewer think about like what bullies
And
really
you like
do.
the
Like,
monsters.
yeah, so like you sympathize with the monsters, so it's like it
Well,
makes you
clear.
There's
question.
a cute monster.
It's like I would
Well,
much
the
rather be
monster-
Team Monster than Team Bully. For
Dude,
sure.
it makes you question like, is it okay for them to treat the monster like this because
Yeah.
it's just a monster? It's like
They're like, it's a monster,
it
we can
kills
do that.
people. Like it kills people. It's
Mm-hmm.
a monster, but also like. I think the kids are more of a monster than the monster.
Yeah.
Like, at least what the film shows us and what it
Mm-hmm. Yes.
wants us to like,
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fantastic.
Because
Yeah.
there's a younger monster, and the monster is cute.
So
You're just
cute.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this.
this is
like,
live
it's a cute.
action?
Yes.
Yeah, but sometimes
But how it's
so,
done, you're like, is it real?
It's like uncanny, like
Yeah.
uncanny valley style,
Yeah.
where it's like you're not sure if what you're looking
Like
at
how
is
the
real or
makeup-
not. Be-
But the mouth thing was so cool. I'm like, they need to do that in zombie movies.
That's so rad.
What do you
Yeah.
do if you have a
The
monster
idea.
and is biting? They take a metal plate and screw it into the face.
Yeah, dude. Like
Like
drill
they
and
take a metal
everything.
plate and like zzz, zzz, zzz,
with
zzz
nails going
over the
straight
mouth.
into their mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't they do that in zombie movies if they want to keep the zombie around? Like those weird people, they're like, I can't kill it, just cover up the mouth. Then it
Sounds
can't bite
really
you.
good.
They don't have the
Yeah.
chutzpah.
Oh, and
of
the
these
gore
terrible
in it
teenagers.
is just so
Beautiful.
like. There was a couple moments he
I wanna
came
t-
over.
yeah.
I like gasped out loud. He's like,
Yeah,
he
she
came
was.
over. He's like, what part is it?
She was finishing up the movie outside in the studio, and then she gasped. And I look over like, what is it? Oh, it's the bus scene. Oh,
The bus scene is great.
fantastic.
Even the classroom,
The
too.
classroom scene
Yeah.
too is fantastic because at the same time, well, I guess I don't know if it's a spoiler. There's two monsters. They capture
Yeah.
one. The other one's sad and is looking for the other one.
Yeah.
So that's why they also draw sympathy from us.
Is this like a
for the
love
monster.
story?
It's not a love. They're
No.
sisters, I
Between
believe.
oh,
Spoilers,
yeah.
they're sisters.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really good. It's such a fantastic movie.
They go into it very briefly though. Like they even tell you how they became monsters a little bit too, which I thought was kind of cool. But they don't like dwell on it too much. Like they just do some research.
That kind of flew over my head, or I don't remember.
They
that,
do it
but-
really quick.
Yeah.
They're like the kid does some research, but it like the dynamic. I know we're like sorry spoilers, but it's not a shocking reveal. I wasn't surprised when you find out like the gender of one of them. You're like oh well, yeah, or the sex of one of them.
Yeah.
But the dynamic between the two monsters is great and interesting because you're like there's not many movies that make you like I care about the monster, you know, and their relationship.
Shape of Water.
But that's not like violent monster that's killing like this monster. The
Kill
monsters
the
in
cat.
this. The
Shoot off
monsters
the
in
mic.
this kill people a lot. That
Yeah.
you're like, is the world better without them here because they're killing people? But then you're like, but I feel bad for them.
But it sounds like the monsters are getting abused by humans, and I feel like
The one that gets captured, yes.
The one that gets captured.
Well,
Yeah.
still like getting abused, and I
Yeah,
think,
no,
like,
it's rough. There's a scene
It's-
where the one guy takes like a baseball bat to the monster, and I was like gonna
and
cram.
it's beating the crap.
It's
out
like
of it, yeah.
bam,
I
and
think
you're like,
that like speaks. I think it seems like the film also just speaks about, from what I'm hearing, it might be
Yeah.
wrong. It just well, it's about bullying and
Oh
kind of-
yeah, no, for sure.
and like this
Bullying on
power
monsters.
dynamic that humans tend to do. They need to
Yes.
stay in power, whether they're bullying a monster or someone below them.
Yep.
And
No,
it's
yeah.
just- It's just
Oh,
an-
you're spot
it's-
on.
It's just
You're-
like a cycle, you know.
Yeah.
And you actually see that in the film as well.
They tell you about
the
some
the chain of bullying, where it starts off with the head guys, and it starts off with the head guys bullying our main character.
Yeah.
And then later on, our main character bullies this store clerk sort of owner who's mentally
then he's, like,
disabled.
crying about it, and he feels
yeah.
bad.
And
Oh.
it's so heartbreaking too.
Yeah.
So
and it sucks
yeah.
because you
It's
you
really-
sympathize with
yeah.
the main character, but then he slowly starts to like his halo starts to
You're
slowly
like,
turn
"What
into
are you
horns.
doing?"
Yeah. It's a fantastic film. I think we got to move on, but
Yeah.
it's definitely
It's
worth
really
checking
good.
out.
I gotta watch it.
Just with some quick ending notes. Yeah, the ending though kind of reminded me of Let the Right One In, the original one, with the
Well-
whole pool scene as well.
I will say it's a very Chinese ending.
Yeah,
Like with Chinese film that you're like, yep, I'm not surprised.
really. Oh,
It's
Don't spoil it.
the
I'm
ending
not
is
gonna
also
say it,
very.
but
intense.
I knew it kind of has to go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was gonna be one way or another. It went bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But if you guys watch a lot of Chinese films, there's generally a common theme. So,
I don't. So
Okay, well,
I'm
we'll talk
interested
about
in
it
that.
after.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Also,
it was satisfying enough.
it's also a very. I would say it's a little controversial how it ends at the end because you can't really chalk them all up to being bad. To be honest, like you can't. Like
What
that's
we saw.
It's logically impossible that they're all terrible.
Yeah.
You know. Like, and there's just only that one girl outside who's
Yeah,
like,
well,
okay,
okay.
okay. But anyways,
Just don't bully people. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
bullying bad.
also I think it kind of falls along the
They do
like the
some
main
great-
line
Oh, sorry. Go
because
ahead.
I think it's like you can do some similarities between this one and also Let the Right One In, the original, because Oscar is also being bullied and he finds a monster
Yeah.
in the girl and like finds like some sort of way to connect with the monster.
A little bit.
But it's like it's a little muddled, but you can kind of I would say but definitely watch both of those films.
It also has great visual style of like when they do the different color lens later,
oh yeah.
and then there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a black and white part, and then how the music plays in is really good too.
Oh yeah, definitely a master filmmaker. I gotta
I'm like,
say,
it was actually really good.
Some of the techniques were like fantastic, like the shots of like where the monsters were hiding out, like over
Yeah.
the top with the
Yeah.
it was really
Anyway,
cool.
you can tell we really
Sorry.
like it, everybody.
Yeah.
So moving
With
on.
these last 20 minutes, let's get into some news.
Yay.
All right, so this breaks my heart. New Mutants is delayed even further. This is a little old, but yeah, I just need to touch on it because
Yeah.
I'm still crying at night because of this, but that's okay. So yeah, New Mutants trailer was supposed to be released, I believe, in February.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gonna be released in August 2nd,
Yeah.
2019.
Wait, August
So-
2nd? Oh, okay, it'll be closer to my birthday.
That's still so far away.
But that's
Happy
still too far away.
Yeah.
That's over a year
Yeah.
later.
We got some details coming in from Collider, and I quote, "The reshoots that the studio wants are now even more significant. We're hearing that at least 50% of the movie may be reshot, and they're adding 1 or 2 new characters who will be present throughout the entirety of the film. This isn't simply adding a cameo. Moreover, Boone, which is I believe the director, has been having some creative differences with the studio over the requested changes to the movie. So the reasons for the New Mutants delay are more complex than why Dark Phoenix is being pushed.
Yeah.
So
Those are all complicated.
here's what I think from it is that they have no confidence in this movie. At
Really?
least
You think so?
a lack, for sure, a huge lack of confidence in this movie. Also,
Because it's like a
Be-
horror superhero film.
yeah, and it's something that like hasn't really been done.
Yeah.
Like
So just
hasn't been done
do it
though,
and
where it's like
commit.
it's in the blown up
Yeah.
scale. Because there's been like there's been Darkman, which was I believe
Yeah, way
Sam
back when.
Raimi. I love that. I thought it was great. There's also Blade, who's kind of like horror
dark horror superhero.
hero, but it never like blew up. So
Yeah.
this is like
Yeah.
they want this one to be like. Nowadays,
Big.
like movies like these are like they become an event, you know. So they wanted to be like another It. I'm guessing,
Yeah.
like they wanted to really blow up, and I think they didn't have confidence in what they had at first, so they're going back like over 50%.
We talked about it before that it wasn't too scary during the testing. And then
Yeah.
I also was reading recently that the testing was fine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't scary.
It-
It was on the level of Deadpool.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't scary, which
Hmm.
like is very interesting. So it is going to revamp like the horror genre within it through these reshoots. So, but I just wonder what the film would have been like, because it's going to be a completely different film now.
Yeah.
I
and I
believe
guess
so.
I don't know. I would have. I'm sad that like
Can we have another cut? of
this
it?
month
Yeah.
we were
Right.
supposed to see it. So I'm just like wondering if the Blu-ray will come out with like the
Yeah,
The
original.
different cut?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be so
Yeah.
good.
Like, I want to see Anya Taylor-Joy. I want to see Maisie Williams.
It could
and
happen,
and these
like-
characters that like we have not discovered, you know, through live action form yet. And also, I was reading that Antonio Banderas is going to
Yeah,
be in the film, and
right.
that in the post credits.
Well, it's a
And in the post credits,
a
it was
rumor.
John Hamm. This is rumor. John Hamm was going to be Mr. Sinister, but they're going to take that out and replace him with Antonio Banderas, who's not going to be Mr. Sinister. And also, I think Deadpool 2. It's like I feel like they're trying to connect it all too now with Deadpool 2.
X Force and probably the New Mutants.
And so maybe taking away New Mutants out of the picture will give more attention to Deadpool 2. So since Deadpool 2 is in May, so
Right.
it's just a huge mess.
Which that one had some reshoots too.
Deadpool 2? Yeah, a little bit.
And you're like, what? Why?
Also, there has been some speculation. This is a little wild, but it says it's possible it will go over to the Disney over-the-top streaming service that's going to be coming out.
New Mutants.
Yeah, because that by then the deal with Fox will be getting good. So it's possible maybe they're just trying to hide the movie until that's up, and then be like, boom, New Mutants, and then people will be like flocking to it. They'd be like,
Maybe.
hell yeah.
So it'd be
I'd have to join it if it if New Mutants,
exclusively
yeah.
for the streaming
Yeah.
service.
If New Mutants came out on the streaming service, I'm there. Like they got
Yeah.
my ticket, and sadly, I mean,
I want to see it in theaters though.
So
I
do
know. I do. Luckily, I have a home theater at this.
that's a film. I know, but that's a film
Not
you
the
want to see
same.
in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's streaming services. I love you, but you're killing the theater.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
all I'll say.
Moving on. All right, A Quiet Place comes out this weekend. I don't have.
You are
there's not
so
really,
excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. There's not really much news other than like I wanted to report that for those, it doesn't really matter too much to me. But for those of you that it does matter to, the Rotten Tomatoes score is holding high at 100%, or with 42 reviews. So 42 reviews, 100%. That tells you something.
Yeah.
So
Decent.
Paddington 2, like
Some
you know,
people
was the
love
other
that. They're
yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
no.
it was great.
Yeah,
or something.
it's
I
the only,
didn't
it's
get-
the other film that had 100% as well.
Wow.
But this is like before it's like widely released, so
Yeah, we'll see.
still, you know, it definitely
I
is
wanna
in
see
good
it.
spirits. I'm dying to see
Yeah,
it.
I think honestly we should all see it for the
There
weekend.
we go. Then we'll talk
You guys
about it.
wanna
for
watch
next
it
week.
I
together?
really want to devote. We can devote a whole damn episode to it because I'm really excited.
I
about
would
it.
love to do
Yeah.
a Quiet Place special.
Well, that'll be maybe our next week.
You guys know?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Well, we did it for Tag.
You heard it here first, people. Quiet Place, go watch it. We're gonna review it. Spoiler, non-spoiler.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
We have to-
Maybe we'll do part of the show and we'll do part of the review and be like, all right, turn off now, and then we'll get into the spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. Let's moving on. This is pretty exciting. So you guys remember that film Slither?
Yeah.
And you guys remember that James Gunn directed that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he's not directing this, but he is producing another horror film. So
Okay.
which is cool. Because he brought us Slither, and one of my favorite Marvel movies, which possibly my all-time favorite, is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just so fun, and I love it. It's actually, so it's not being directed by him. It's being directed by this guy named David Yarovetsky, and he's filmed The Hive. So I want to go check that film out. I didn't have too much info here. But yeah, he's directed The Hive. David Yarovetsky. It's spelled Yarovesky. If you want to go look him up on IMDb, please do so. And it's funny because the writers are actually Brian and Mark Gunn. So it's his brothers that are writing it. His big, I guess, James is just like, yeah, put down the money for that. Because they've both actually written Journey to the Mysterious Island, which was with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And
Oh.
yeah.
Like, wait,
Because the
did I
first
watch
movie
that?
was Journey to the Center of the World.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is Journey to. So
Oh, maybe.
we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, let's see, we have stars that are attached to it. So it's David Denman, and he's he's been in 13 Hours, as well as The Office. He was he was in a relationship with Pam for a bit, and he's the one who like gets in a fight with Jim. It's that character. That's David. We also have Meredith Hanger, who is from Ingrid Goes West, and Matt Jones.
I love Ingrid Goes
I have
West.
yet to see that, but I've been
It's
wanting
so
to see
good.
it. Yeah,
Not horror at
it's
all,
not horror,
but-
but it's like definitely horrifying.
Very telling of the times with social media, but
Yeah.
check that out.
Right on. And so far, there's no official synopsis yet released for this film. But James Gunn did have this to say, and I quote: "About a year ago, my brother Brian and my cousin Mark." Oh, my bad. It's his cousin. So brother Brian and his cousin Mark. My bad. Clear that up. All guns, all guns. My cousin Mark and director David Yorovetsky, producer Simon Hatz, and I started coming up with an idea for a horror film that excited me in a way nothing outside of Guardians has in years. It was personal, it was different, and perfectly suited for our times, and yes, terrifying.
All right.
I'm here for
Any
it.
hints at like what it is?
No, there's no
Okay.
synopsis yet. It's all, we just know that it's personal to him. It's
Okay.
different and it's suited for our times and it's terrifying.
So
So,
social media probably. No, I don't know.
or you know,
Political climate
yeah, I was
too?
about to say I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be a president. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So what do you guys think? You guys in for that?
Yeah, totally.
I need to know more first.
Yeah. Is it
But I'm
to-
here. I'm
to
into
like
it.
fully
but
devote. Yeah.
but, like,
no,
if-
that's
if
good.
How your level of excitement will depend on more.
I'm like, ooh, but I'm also just like, ooh.
Journey 2.
Yeah.
Journey
Yes,
2 writers.
Tell me
up.
more. Tell me more. Yes.
Also, I want to check out the Hive too, see what Yorovetsky's good for. But yeah, definitely, it's a little early, but I mean, the fact that he's like producing something,
Yeah.
I'm down for it. James
Yeah.
Gunn is a great filmmaker. Next up, this was making the rounds all over the place. We got the Tommyknockers remake. That's coming from James Wan and Roy Lee. So James Wan, no introduction there, but Roy Lee, a little bit more we need on him. So he's actually one of the producers for the It adaptation, and they're set to produce this adaptation for the Stephen King novel under their banners, their production banners. I'm guessing Atomic Monster and Vertigo. They've also teamed up with Larry Sanitsky, who was the executive producer for the 1993 TV miniseries original adaptation of Tommyknockers. So if you guys want to check out what's out there already for Tommyknockers, it was a miniseries in 1993. That's the year I was born, so I didn't even know about this at all. I mean, that's no excuse really, but I'm just like, it wasn't on my radar. Now it sort of is. I mean, I guess I'll have to wait and see to see what's up. Am I interested in watching the previous things? No, not really. I don't know. I'll ask you, but real quick, for those who are unfamiliar, like myself, if you guys haven't heard about it, the story, I quote, the story told of a town in Maine, again in Maine, usually his stories are in Maine, that falls under the influence of a dangerous gas from an unearthed spacecraft. Kind of digging that. The gas begins to transform the people, giving them enhanced abilities, but also making them violent and subject to an alien hive mentality. One man, thanks to a steel plate in his head, is immune to the effects and tries to stop the townspeople.
Dun,
One
dun,
man,
dun.
one steel plate in his head. So it sounds interesting. That does intrigue me more, actually. I like the whole sci-fi element to that. And also, we have a little quote here from Staninsky, who was the original producer for the show, and he says he sheds light on why this story should be retold today. He says it's an allegorical tale of addiction. Stephen was struggling with some of his own at the time, the threat of nuclear power, the danger of mass hysteria, and the absurdity of technical evolution run amok. All are as relevant today as the day the novel was written. It is also a tale about the eternal power of love and the grace of redemption. So you guys ever hear about this Tommyknockers
No.
beforehand?
Never.
Yes, I
You did?
haven't seen it, but I'm familiar with it. But I didn't know it enough that I could tell you like the synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just added it to my list of movies.
It's-
So
I'm
you
like,
are
"Do-do-do."
interested in watching the miniseries?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
watch the original as well because I'm like it's well known enough that I knew about it.
Yeah,
So,
I'd have
like,
to.
sure.
Maybe like the closer we get to the film, I'll
Yeah, I have-
revisit
I-
it.
No, see, you watch it now, so that's not super fresh in your memory when the new one comes out, and then you're like
I get-
automatically comparing.
But then when it's closer to the film, it's a lot more accessible. Like you see like those things popping up more. Oh, you guys remember Tommyknockers? Like
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so it might be easier to find. That's what I'm trying
I've
to say. I
never
guess.
heard of this before in my
Really?
life.
Yeah,
it
dude.
sounds a lot like the Crazies, a little bit. Kind of how the Crazies, like there's this town,
Yeah.
a little bit. It's not like extraterrestrial with the crash landing of the.
Yeah, I was about to
whatever,
say the
Yeah.
crazy.
But it sounds a little bit like the Crazies.
sci-fi
but-
in there.
Because yeah,
Reed.
Tommyknockers is old though, right?
It involves pulling teeth.
It involves pulling teeth, says Steve.
Steve in the booth.
Thank you.
Which that's in Monsters too.
Oh god.
Oh. And the jars of it.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Let's see what we got here. We got two more stories to get through real quick. So Nick Cage. This is just a fun one, guys. I'll just
Sure.
briefly just go over this one. So the gist of it: Nick Cage wants a rated R film, Ghost Rider film.
Yes. Sure.
So-
Without him though.
With it doesn't matter. Yeah, he doesn't care if he's in it. He's like
Yeah.
I think he just wants
the character.
the
to
character to be served, served its justice, I
Be,
guess. Oh, by the way, people, for those on our last story for Tommyknockers, if you guys are familiar with the story and you guys agree that you should be recommended, we should check it out, please comment down below like why you like it and everything. I would love to read about that later. So he played Ghost Rider in 2007 and also Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, and he had this to say when he was talking to Joe Blow. He goes, I'm not going to try and impersonate him because that'd be awesome though, but anyways, Ghost Rider was a movie that always should have been rated R. Mm-hmm. David Goyer had a brilliant script, which I wanted to do with David, and for whatever reason, they just didn't let us make the movie. But that movie is still a movie that should be made, not with me, obviously, but it should be rated R. It should be a rated R movie. Heck, Deadpool was rated R, and that did great. And a little continuing more, Ghost Rider was designed to be a scary superhero with a rated R rating.
Yes.
And Edge, and they just didn't have it worked out back then. So yeah, and I agree. Like the producers, whatnot, like just that era, you didn't see like superheroes going nuts. Like
No. Though I think it's in the
Or at least
second one, maybe. Sam Elliott was amazing, and he has like the horse Ghost Rider.
Right.
I was just looking at him. I'm like, it's Sam Elliott, yeah.
Is that the
He was
classic
it's
cowboy?
the old dude, yes.
Yeah, with the mustache.
I was like, oh, I love that guy. He's
Yeah,
so good.
he is a classic cowboy of Hollywood nowadays.
Yeah.
I would like to see this. I think Nicolas Cage would be a good producer for the film
Yeah.
too, or an executive producer, whatever. I know Ghost Rider. I think he's on Agents of Shield. I don't watch
He
Agents
was
of Shield.
for a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But-
Ghost Rider comes on Agents of Shield, but he's Latino.
I thought he meant he was like a producer on Agents
Yeah.
of Shield.
No,
Like
the
Nick Cage. I was like,
character
really?
Ghost Rider comes.
Yeah, I heard
Spoilers
about
if you guys
that.
haven't watched
Yeah.
that. But it's the other version where he's a Latino
Interesting.
actor, and that version of him.
Got it.
I know a lot of people.
It's not like the classic Ghost Rider.
A lot of people want Norman Reedus to be the new Ghost Rider. If there
Oh,
was,
that'd be so wow.
wouldn't that be?
Yeah.
That's like a really
That's
good.
perfect.
That's a little too good, but it's like I kind of want to see it.
No, I'm sure he'd rock that.
Yeah.
He needs
'Cause
like a nice
he can ride
film
He
too.
can ride a motorcycle, so get it Daryl.
Done. That's half the movie.
Yes. Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah.
All right, Ollie, take it away with this last story.
Oh well, unfortunately. Okay, I got
There you
this.
go.
I got
There you
this.
go.
All right.
Look at
Well,
that.
for all my Purge
Versatile.
fans out there, I just read this earlier. A Purge pilot lands American Horror Story director, and I didn't even know that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that there was going to be a Purge series, but
Oh, yeah.
and there's going to be a Purge prequel film this summer. So I'll read it.
Okay.
Not only is the prequel The First Purge arriving in theaters this summer. Did not know that. But the franchise is also getting its own spin-off TV series. It recently landed at USA Network and Sci-Fi. And it's reported today that Emmy-winning director Anthony Hemingway, who did The People vs. O.J. and American Horror Story, has come aboard to direct the pilot episode. So this is going to be really interesting, especially the whole prequel film. But also Amanda Warren and Colin Waddell recently joined a cast led by the previously announced Gabriel Chavarria and Jessica Garza, and 10 episodes of the series are planned. So this is something that this
could
is
be
completely news to me.
Right.
So there's not only another 4th installment film, but also 10 episode series. So I'm
Wow,
excited.
nice.
What do you guys think about
I've
that?
never seen The Purge.
I've never seen any film.
You've never really?
I'm so sorry.
I'm like,
No,
I
I feel like you guys would have at least seen one.
I think no, I didn't even see the first one. I saw bits. I didn't sit down and see the first one. I saw bits of the first one while my sister was
That's
like watching it like
fascinating.
back home. I know all about it. Like I know about the first.
I'm
film.
like shocked.
I'm
It's
so
not a bad.
sorry.
I'm not like crazy Purge fan, but I just think it's a really cool concept.
I mean, in general, I'm not a fan of like real life violent stuff as horror. It's not. I'm like, I want something supernatural or otherworldly because it's like, well, real life is scary and horrible as it
Yeah.
is. So I like it better. And then if it's real world, you're like, what's real world? But the concept of it, like in the future, like this is then it's almost dystopian.
Yeah.
That I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I recognize that it's a very popular brand and a lot of people know it and like the Purge. I'm like, they did Universal at Horror Nights, so I'm like, I mean, I'll probably watch one of them at least.
It falls
I'll check it out.
For
I
me,
just
it
haven't
falls
gotten
under
to
the
it yet.
category of like Sharknado, like that kind of like
Really?
ridiculousness. Yeah,
Really?
where I'm
But
just
it's
like,
not-
I'm not
But it's not
really
cheesy
for.
though.
It's
No, I
not
know,
cheesy
but I'm
at
just like
all.
not for it though. Like it's just
Okay.
like a bunch of hot tot and like people want to go and kill other people. I'm not
Yeah,
for that.
that's-
Like
that's
I
not
don't
the horror I really
it's,
like
It's
either.
really for my in a sense it's a little too mindless for me. I mean, I know it has a lot of messages to say, but like
Yeah.
the way you're saying it, I don't care.
With
for
how
it.
like the crime has gone down throughout the whole entire year, but one night you could do whatever you want, and that's
Yeah.
because the law. And I'm interested in seeing how they're going to like, because this is an origin movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested in seeing how that law was implemented and like
Yeah.
all that crap. So
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
curious.
I don't know. Comment down below if I should check out the Purge
Yes.
series. I don't know. I'll see if there's enough people want me to check it out. I just never been really that interested in it.
Lena Headey is in the first one, so
And also
For Game of Thrones
Ethan,
fans.
Ethan Hawke, right?
yeah. So
But yeah, so real quick, we want to wrap this up. Last little story we have is a trailer of the week where I just want to show you a trailer of a movie that's coming out very soon and get it on your radar if you didn't know about it. Let's roll that son of a gun. So yeah, so this is a Vampire Clay. It's Japanese. Hailing from legendary Japanese special effects master Soichi Umezawa is directing this film. It shows really great special effects in the trailer. What I can surmise is that it's about these students who go to the art school and start being terrorized by possessed piles of clay, which I thought was
Okay
awesome.
then.
It looks like a very fun movie, and has been quoted as being like bonkers by 3 different sources, which
are
I thought was
creepy.
hilarious. So yeah, let's pay a little
my.
attention. Yeah.
oh,
So she's
no.
being I believe her hands trapped, and then her hands like
Ah!
mess. Where people
Eaten
are
by
eat-
sculptures.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Look at
my.
that. Oh.
Yeah.
And I love the combination of like special makeup and like visual effects. Like I think that's like the best way to do it.
And it's absurd. It looks like so, but on purpose.
We're just
Bonkers,
Yeah.
all right.
I love that's like the best way.
But I do like how Japanese horror like can go over the top, and they know, and they embrace
I love it,
And you're
yeah.
like, yes.
Yeah, dude.
Art so bad it kills.
Ah!
Yes. Called it. Oh.
Vampire Clay.
Okay, I'm down.
Soichi Umezawa.
Looks so. I like the over the top.
So yeah, it's actually being released in like 5 theaters in like super major cities around around the nation, USA, which is absurd. But don't you worry, because it is also on the same day dropping on streaming platforms iTunes and Vimeo, probably Amazon as well. April 20th, 2018.
Okay,
How
nice.
convenient! It drops on 420.
Oh. Well, yeah. Maybe
So-
That's
like,
how you're supposed to watch it.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sign. All right. Now, before we wrap up, real quick, poster giveaway.
Woo!
Our winner for our House of Demons poster is Zach 111.
he won.
Zach 111. Oh my God! It's like a prophecy.
He knew he was going to win.
Yeah.
Congrats, Zach. One,
congrats.
one.
Congratulations.
So
Yay.
Zach, if you're watching this, I only know you by your YouTube name, but I included our email and our Twitter handle in the description for this video. So please email us, and we'll get your information, and then I'll ship you the poster that's signed by the cast and crew. Hopefully you've seen the movie and you can enjoy it, and then you can post it on your wall, and it's gonna be super cool. But yeah.
I'm jealous. I wanted that.
I was hoping no one would participate. No, I'm just
Nah.
kidding. But Zach 1111 has won. So
Yay.
congratulations, Zach. Jay Silver. Next time, buddy, we'll be giving a bunch of more stuff away, I'm sure. Just keep tuning in until we have more stuff to give away. Yeah. We got your back, Zach Silver. Don't worry. Jay Silver, my bad. I don't know Zach Silver. But yeah, so that concludes our show. So Ollie, go ahead and put yourself over.
Hey guys, I'm Oliver Jenner. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. Check me out on AfterBuzz TV for the America's Next Top Model after show, and as well as the RuPaul's Drag Race after show.
And my name's Carrie Lane. You can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's Karidlane. And after this, we're talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and already in the first 4 episodes, it's so intense. So stay tuned
So
for that at 6
good.
over on AfterBuzz.
One of my favorite animes of all time, I gotta say. Hello everybody, again, my name is Anthony Becerra, and you can find me everywhere at TonyBTony_. Again, TonyBTony_. I'm thinking about changing it again, but we'll see. Just stay tuned. Also, some quick cross promotion. Both of them couldn't be here, but follow Chauncey Robinson at Miss Chauncey KR, and also follow Lucretia Lion at Lucretia Lion. Also follow their things they have online. Lucretia has a Mrs. Brightside podcast. Chauncey and Lucretia have the Red Room Horror show, so you can follow them at Red Room Horror. Also, Chauncey does a Bloody Breakdown on her YouTube channel, Bloody Breakdown. And every Sunday, you can see me on the Krypton after show at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Stephanie Sabra, as well as Candice Cruz just joined the panel. So stick around for that on Sundays at 4 p.m. if you like Krypton. Other than that, horror movie news fans, goodbye. Go watch The Quiet Place. We'll talk about it next week. Farewell, arrivederci.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.